What's up, soul family? It's another day on Starship Earth, and we're sending gratitude into the cosmos. Today I want to talk about following your soul's calling. Following your soul's calling is not always easy. In fact, it usually involves going against your deepest fears and insecurities. When you start to follow your path, your passion, and your soul's calling, you have to really trust in yourself and trust in your path, because there will be doubters. Whether it be family or friends or just random people, there will be people that question your path. And they question your path because you are going on a path that is not usually followed by people, that is not usually walked on. And they tend to question and project their own insecurities onto your path because they never actually followed their own passion. They never went for what they truly desired in this life. They don't yet have the awareness to understand your path because it's not their path, it's yours. It's your path to be followed. It's your path to be discovered and experienced. A lot of people haven't went within yet to discover what they truly desire in this life. They don't know what their passions are. So for you to follow your passions, it tends to trigger other people because they are following what everybody else is doing. So try to remember when this happens, when people start doubting your path, that they're just projecting their insecurities onto you, and you don't have to take it personally. You know your path and you know yourself the most out of anybody, because you are the person, you are the awareness that is within you every day. You spend the most time with yourself out of anybody. So remember to trust in the signs that you have been receiving, the divine inspiration that you have been receiving. Trust in the divine guidance that has brought you to this point on your journey and that has lighted the way for you. You don't have to tell anybody about your plans that you want to manifest and work on, because that tends to attract a lot of negative energy towards you from people that don't have the best intentions. Or you can be like Naruto and tell everybody that you're gonna become the Hokage, but I prefer to use my discernment on who I tell my plans and my manifestations to. I only tell people who have the best interest in my success and my abundance and prosperity. What I've noticed on my journey is we often have to go beyond our own analytical mind and the analytical mind of others, because our minds are all connected. Seeing beyond the limitations that the ego creates and taking time to observe our own ego and the ego of others without judgment. And this allows us to see beyond these things, see beyond these illusions that the ego creates, and really open up to the divine. Looking at things with a loving awareness makes it easier for us to surrender to the divine. And we may get triggered on the way. In fact, we will get triggered because we can't avoid our own triggers. We're human. We're spiritual beings living the human experience. One of the triggers that I experience is whenever someone doubts my path or projects their criticism on my path. It tends to irritate me because it brings up my own doubts and my own insecurities about my path. So what I do when this feeling starts to rise up is I just sit there and observe it and let it flow and pass. And this allows me to not judge the feeling that is occurring within me, because our triggers are like gateways to our own subconscious. They're like doorways to our own healing and expansion. So embracing our triggers is a super important aspect. Your triggers are like the doors to your own inner wounds. thus allowing the healing process to occur by bringing awareness to these things. And we always have a choice whether we allow an outside energy to affect us on our path. We have the choice to see these outside energies from a higher perspective and let them pass through. And of course, use discernment on what energies that we are around on a daily basis, because this is very important for our own wellness. We as spiritual beings living this human experience, we have the law of free will, and we have choices we can make. We have the choice, the free will. We have the free will to choose the path that feels right for us. The path that our soul is being called to. The path that Spirit has been whispering in our ear. Nobody else can choose this for us. If we allow somebody else to choose our own path, we allow them to have power over us. And when you give your chance to choose the path that feels right for you, you are essentially taking your power back. You are allowing yourself to be on the path that brings you the most joy. We have the opportunities in this life to follow our highest passions, to follow our callings. There will be obstacles in the way, of course. There will always be setbacks and learning lessons. But the more we align ourselves with Spirit and our highest calling, the more these obstacles will start to fall away and dissolve into Source. Because by you embodying your highest passions, you are attracting more abundance and more prosperity and joy into your life. Freedom is found within. And I'm talking about true freedom and salvation. The type of freedom that allows one to dance with the universe and flow with life. And there will be times when you start following your passions, you start following your calling, and you will have to take a leap of faith. You will have to go against your fears, and you will have to trust that Spirit is going to support you, that you will be supported by the universe. That time for me was about last year, when all the crazy stuff was happening in the world, and my work actually shut down for a couple months. And during that time, I had a lot of time to myself. So I started working on writing and YouTube videos. And during that time, I realized that this is my passion. This is what I want to do. So after a couple months, they actually opened back up. And I knew that it was time for me to move on. Spirit was telling me that this is the time. But I still had a lot of fear and resistance. I remember I had to make that call to my boss to quit my job. And I was dreading that phone call because I was just fearing like what he was going to think. I had been there for a couple years. I had a lot of inner conflict coming up, just the fear of not knowing if I would have the security or the money to support myself. Or just the fear of failure. And I remember I was sitting in my favorite nature spot, my meditation spot, and I was thinking about what I really wanted to do, whether or not I wanted to quit or not. And my boss called me, and it was such a huge synchronicity. And that's when I answered and just told him. I went against my fears, and I just told him what I felt. And after that phone call, I had a lot of intense feelings coming up. But at the same time, I felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. And I knew that my life was about to change somehow. There was big changes coming. I was seeing 555 a lot at the time too. This was the leap of faith I had to make to start coming into my purpose. Even after that phone call, I still had a lot of fear on what was to come, what was ahead on my path, but I knew that it was the right path for me. I had this deep inner knowing that Spirit had my back. That's when I really started writing, making YouTube videos, and just guiding others. And ever since then, I have been supported by Spirit. I have been randomly blessed with security and support on my path. And I know there's a lot more to come on my journey. And to start really coming into my purpose, I had to start embodying that person that I wanted to be, that person that I was envisioning, that life that I was envisioning. I'm still in this process. I'm still in this process of reprogramming my life, my routines. I had to start letting go of certain habits, certain daily routines, and creating new ones, creating new routines that really support this new life that I'm trying to create, this new person that I'm trying to embody, and this new earth that we're all creating together. By embodying my own passions, by embodying my own love for myself and others, and growing and learning in the process. See, we really have to embody in the moment what we are trying to create, because everything is happening in the present moment. Energy is flowing, energy is changing in the present moment. So by changing our routines, changing our thoughts and our habits, we're essentially creating our own future. We're aligning with the highest timeline for ourselves, creating new habits, new routines, and new thoughts that energize my mind, my body, and my spirit. The Trinity. The Trinity is important to remember when creating new routines. Asking ourselves, what can I do for myself? What can I do for my mind? What can I do for my body and my spirit? And create routines and habits surrounding this concept. This will help propel you towards your goals, towards your manifestations and your purpose. Our daily habits are creating the most likely future timeline. So what we do when we first wake up, what we do before we go to bed, is extremely powerful. It's a powerful factor in determining the energy of our day. I find this knowledge to be so powerful because with this knowledge, we have the knowing that we can consciously change our life at any time. Every day and every moment is an opportunity to make small changes. And these small changes eventually build up to create new vibrations and new energies for your life. These small changes are like building blocks to our own transformation. We can transform ourselves and our life with small positive changes every day. And with the Trinity in full balance, we activate the pyramid of light, the Merkaba within ourselves, that can carry our consciousness into new horizons, into new dimensions and experiences. You are here to embrace your higher purpose. Your consciousness is ready to expand and shine its light onto the world. So don't dim your light for anybody. And if you find yourself dimming your light to fit in, to not be judged, just forgive yourself and move forward. You have a light. You have a unique expression to share with the world. You have a powerful essence that is not meant to be suppressed or hidden. Society may try to project their insecurities or limitations onto you, but that's just a sign that you are triggering the collective consciousness with your own authenticity. And the more you do this, the more other people will be able to see their own. Authenticity is contagious. I see it like it's a freeing of energy, because energy can't be contained for so long because it is meant to be flowing. This renews it and allows it to transform. Authenticity allows for transformation to unfold, being authentic to others and ourselves. And this is a learning process because we don't always know exactly what is authentic to ourselves. And this is why it's important to have a practice of going within and discovering and learning about what's authentic to us. We have a built-in radar system that can detect when something feels off to us or something doesn't resonate with our being. We have this inner knowing. We just have to go within and feel what feels right for us. When we truly aren't living in alignment with our own souls, we can feel it deeply inside of us. We can feel this deeply, like something isn't right we aren't living our fullest potential. We can feel this dullness, this apathy within us. And a lot of us in this society are suffering with apathy because they don't feel passionate about their life. They're just going about their day with the same routines, not knowing that inside themselves is a heart that is ready to expand. This can vary from person to person because we're all unique souls with our own paths, operating from our own levels of consciousness. So what feels right for another person may not feel right for you. It all varies, you know? And this is important to remember when you find yourself in a conflicting viewpoint with another person. Remembering that their perception is based on their own level of consciousness and what they have experienced. So they may not resonate with your path, and that's okay. We can still work on accepting each other and our differences, because we all know that this world has enough separation as it is. We're all learning, and not one person knows everything. And if that person claims to know everything, we know that's bullshit, and that's a grand illusion, because when we claim to know everything, we are literally limiting ourselves from expanding any further. So learning is a part of this experience. The only way I feel that we can truly know everything is when we are one with source consciousness. And this isn't like your typical logical knowing that we practice here in the third dimension. This is more of a soul's knowing, a deeper knowing within. The type of knowing that accompanies feelings of love and bliss, and the knowing that everything is going to be okay. That type of knowing that when we die, everything is going to be okay because we are one with an infinite, powerful source of creation. And this goes beyond anything our ego, our mind can think of. Anyways, this is my perception on things, but I appreciate you guys being here, you guys supporting the channel. And if anyone's new here, I would love if you would hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you're notified when I post a new video. I'm gonna try to work on posting at least one video a week, so stay tuned. And I hope you all have an amazing day, an amazing weekend. Peace, guys.